Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Larry Bodenheimer, and today we're taking a look at Quasar. Now Quasar is probably the most infamous rat that I can think of in 2024. It just so happens that I haven't been able to find a working variant of this up until now, and I finally found one, so I'm really excited to review this one. I hope you're excited to see it, because if you're interested in malware analysis, I guarantee more of you watching would know what Quasar is than those that don't. Before we run the malware itself, let's take a look in VirusTotal. We have 49 out of 72 detections, and this has been out for about a week. Well, let's look at this date. Yeah, still about a week, so it's a pretty average number. It's not great for malware devs, and it's not great for antivirus companies either. But it would take longer to see who does detect it rather than who doesn't. So I'm just going to take a look at who does not. So any big names down here, we've got Baidu's not detecting it. It looks like ClamAV might be because I don't see their name here. It looks like all of the big names are detecting this malware. So let's look for ClamAV. Yep, they've got a packed AV signature for it. Bitdefender has a generic one. Kaspersky has a generic one as well, but it's a generic for Quasar, so that's good. Malwarebytes, McAfee, and Symantec. Yep, and Sophos has one as well. So all of the big companies have a signature for it, so that's pretty good. We'll go to details. Here's your MD5, your SHA-1, and your SHA-256. I will post this in the comments of the video as well. You don't actually have to type this down on your own. Creation time, don't just ignore that. First submission is a day after, so yeah, about a week. And it's come under a random name and 2desk.exe and putty.exe. Okay, so it might be pertaining to be some kind of remote client then. So we go to relations, we have 4 contacted URLs, but they're all certificate authorities. 6 contacted domains. Ooh, we've got IP.who.is. Oh, that's not good because that is a very, very narrowed down like location detector, as well as on top of doing other things. Like it pulls your geographic location to the 7th digit. So it's a very accurate location finder. I don't like that. We've got 14 contacted IP addresses as well. We've got one with 2 detections out of the US, but with the 20.99, I'm thinking this is a Microsoft one. And then we've got one out of Poland, I believe. Let me just open this really quick and make sure that I am correct in saying that. Yes, that's definitely Poland. Okay. And that was also analyzed 19 minutes ago. I didn't do that. And then, of course, Google's DNS is always going to have a malware signature for whatever reason. But this has 6 detections, so we'll keep an eye out for that once we're running the malware. It does drop 5 files. This actually has slightly more detections, so it may be a different file. And if we go to behavior, of course, I don't spend much time on behavior on this channel, but if you want to look for yourselves, then you're able to. So we do have 1 high, 5 medium, and 1 low crowdsourced Sigma role. And we have 2 high and 2 low crowdsourced IDS rules. And if we go over to community, it looks like Jaffa has been here. God, I was hoping she wasn't going to do that, because she wasn't here when I was testing it, and now she is. She loves to steal my thunder. But it looks like she did actually find the botnet for this as well, Office 04. So good job. This is a automated client, by the way. This isn't actually a human doing this. Jaffa is a real person, but this is an automated bot that, you know, yeah. All right. And let's take a look at the programs that we're going to be using to analyze this malware. We've got Process Hacker. I'll go ahead and get that ready. Minimize Firefox. Wireshark, which I'll go ahead and reset. Zooey. And Process Monitor. Let's go ahead and move this to the right side of the screen, by the way. There we go. And last but not least, let's go to Properties and see if they did anything like that. So yeah, we have some properties here. 2desk remote control clients written in Cantonese. If we go down here, language simplified mainland China, that is the Cantonese language. It does have a copyright for 2desk.com, I'm assuming. And a product version 4.7.5.2. Original file name 2desk.exe. So pretty realistic looking. I would definitely be very concerned if I was in America and I downloaded 2desk.exe and I took a look at this and this, but most users aren't going to look at anything like this anyway. So if we go to digital signatures, there are none. Okay, so no points there, but yeah, definitely a few points for this. I could fall for this if I was in China. But let's go ahead and close that. Let's get Process Hacker ready, and without any further ado, let's run the malware. Do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher to make changes to your device? Well, sure. Go ahead and click yes, and immediately 2desk is running, and we've got client built and client.exe. So let's go to open file location, and we've got, it's in the roaming directory, and it's in a hidden folder. But I do have show hidden files and folders turned on, and then we have client.exe here. So I believe that was the one that had 54 detections. Yes, it is. So let's duplicate this and put that through here and see if it is or isn't the same file. Let's go ahead and drag this over here. Checking hash. No, it is not the same file. Okay. It has the same signature, but I'm assuming this is like a different part of it. Password Stealer A. So this is probably the one that's going through and finding all of your super secret passwords. But fortunately for me, I'm not logged into anything. So it is what it is. Go looking for whatever you want, but you're not going to get anything from me. And let's take a look over here. I will go ahead and stop this really quick and save it as one and then start a new one because the malware is still running. And I'll run this through Zooey really quick. So let's go to welcome to Zooey, import data, documents, 1.pcapng. There we go. And in the meantime, let's take a look at process monitor. So we're going to do two filters. One, we're going to do operation is create file. And then we're going to do process name is 2desk.exe. Only 3 million events, so it shouldn't take too long to apply that. And we have quite a few events from it. So let's go ahead and put this in full screen. Well, that's good, actually. And we'll expand the path name. So it did delete its prefetch. Unfortunately, won't be able to gather anything from that. We've got a config, which was deleted. A bunch of DLLs. I'm not too interested in the DLLs themselves. Expand this a little more. A .aux. Okay, that's interesting. And we got native images and something in Cantonese. AI. And name not found. Okay. And a DLL I've actually not seen before, but it's probably just part of .NET Framework. We've got AI resources.exe. All of these have been deleted, unfortunately, so we're not going to be able to follow them. But it is what it is. I'm more interested in the client.exe anyway. And yes, it looks like immediately after building that and configuring it, it did kill its own process. So now we're going to go to process name, and we're going to change that to, instead of 2desk.exe, client.exe. Add, apply, and what do we got? We actually don't have as many events as I was thinking we would have. Okay, I thought we'd have like thousands because it's constantly running, but maybe not. Is there anything significant that's on here, though? I am looking for anything stealing my passwords. Or maybe it created another file, and another file or program, and I need to be looking for that. That is a possibility as well. Icon cache to delete, name not found. Okay, interesting enough. It's going through icons, system data, MSW sock.dll, and logs. So it is looking through logs, but it's not doing anything else too suspicious right now. Let's go ahead and look at Zooey. Query the pool. And we have 146 rows, so not a lot of data to look through. I will go ahead and stop this and look through it again. But I got a feeling we're not going to find much here. We got a capture loss, apparently. No gaps and no acknowledgements. Pure Zeke. Okay. I'm sure this is... Oh, no. Only observed 0 TCP acknowledgements and was expecting at least 1. Okay, I was thinking that would be like an invalid certificate. We do have one alert here. ET policy Spotify peer-to-peer client, but that's it. Not anything that's showing a known Quasar C2. But if we take a look in Wireshark itself, we do have some communications with that 83, the one that was based out of Poland. So if we go back to relations really quick, we can just do it like this. We go to relations, we do have that IP address that had 6 detections. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to try to access this myself. And whether we get anything from it or not, I'll also run it through abuse IPDB and who it is. So let's type that in. It's most likely just going to give a connection refused. As you can see, it's actually trying to connect to it now, but it's retransmitting packets. So we're not going to get anything from that. Let's go ahead and open abuse IPDB and check. And it says it was not found in the database. The ISP is CoreBank SA. It's a fixed line internet service provider. And it's out of... Oh, every time I try to say these Polish cities, I get it completely wrong. It looks like Wrocław, but I think I remember someone saying it was like Wyczesław one time or something. So I don't even try to pronounce Polish names. I'm sorry. And then we could try who is and see if we can get a little more information. The net name is SkillHost. It's a virtual private server. Gotcha. Okay. And it's managed by SkyPass and SkillHost. Alright, and here's the root. SkyPass Solutions. Zoop. No, I don't actually know what that means. Okay. And yeah, it's not going to do anything. If it was going to, it would have done so by now. Are there any associated, like, domains? No, the only contacted URLs are the certificate authorities. So there's not one that's like the IP address and then like the name of a file. And we couldn't try to download that. Which is unfortunate. It did finally finish. Problem loading. An error occurred during a connection to 83.168.110.87. That is unfortunate. Next, I'm going to go ahead and stop this really quick. I'm going to save it as 2. And we're going to run it through Zooey again. Although I kind of got the feeling we're not going to find anything too suspicious. The client's still running, and it just straight up shows up as Quasar client. So it's like, you know what, screw you. If you're stupid enough to run the program, you're stupid enough to not look at the description of the running file. And in testing, it doesn't close if you open Task Manager, and let's see. Yeah, it's literally right there as Quasar client, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. So if I expand this really quick, I go to details or detection. Detect debug environment, my whole ass. Just wanted to point that out really quick. Let's go ahead and close Task Manager because for some reason every time I open it, it wants to kill my computer. But I think the last thing that we do is just run that through Zooey really quick. And yeah, okay, I did go ahead and start it. I doubt we're going to see anything more, but I did decide it would be good to look at it one more time. And then I'm going to restart the computer and see if it has persistence. I'm fairly certain that it will, because most Quasar variants are actually rats and not just info stealers, but there are modifications that are made to different variants from time to time, so we'll see. And then I guess that's going to be it. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video, probably. But, yeah, Quasar is usually really sweet and to the point. Really short and to the point. I don't know why I said sweet. But either way, there you go. Process monitor, we can move that over here. There we go. It did open a few more events. We can look at this really quick. Let's go all the way to the bottom. And it looks like it's still just accessing logs. Why is this being so slow? Yeah, it's all just logs, so I'm not too interested in that. Let's go ahead and query the pool. We do have more rows this time. I'm going to have to look at every alert. Immediately, we've got a Spotify peer-to-peer client connection, which this is foreign to me. Let's see. Suricata, app layer, wrong direction. Yeah, we're going to have those, unfortunately. Suricata, app layer. I'm looking for alert 2s and 1s, because usually known Quasar C2s show up on just like default Snort and Zeek logs, but it's not seeming to do so this time. It immediately shows up, like known C2s show up as an alert 1. I'm not seeing anything. I'm seeing SSL, but not anything like suspicious. We got more notices. Invalid certificate. Yeah, invalid certificate. Known services, and that's it. Yeah, we got another observed peer-to-peer client running, but nothing else. So at this point, all that there's left to do is to restart the computer. So let's go ahead and just do that. We do obviously see that the program itself is still running. So I'm going to assume I would put $5 and say that this is a rat and not just an info stealer. And if you don't know what the difference is, an info stealer, usually it runs, it does what it was programmed to do, it pilfers through your data, sends it to a C2, and then kills itself and doesn't run again, unless you're an idiot and you run it again on your own. But rats will start up when the computer starts up. So I'm going to look really quick and just check and see if it is still running. Yep, it's now running under service host. So this is actually a rat or a remote access Trojan, and it does have persistence. Didn't have a tag with persistence on VirusTotal, so I was a little concerned by saying that. But yeah, as you can see, we do have some persistent malware. And that's going to be it. That's Quasar. It's very short, to the point. Doesn't even try to hide itself from you, even if you open like Task Manager. Yeah, it's very in your face. But that's going to be it. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to leave a like. If there's something I didn't do that you want to see in future videos, leave a comment in the comment section down below and let me know what that is. My name is Larry Bodenheimer. You guys have been amazing, and I will see you in the next one.